And the work in the vineyards and tasting room. There are 5 key concepts that are important to define, and I'm not at this point talking about excellent year, maximum quality, extraordinary wine, ability to age, or good investment, all of which relate to vintage port. I'm talking about declaration, an action which is the responsibility of the shipper or producer who stakes their reputation on the quality of their wine to be placed on the market with a designation vintage port. Certification, a process carried out by the IVDP tasting panel to ensure that vintage ports achieve the defined quality. Celebration, the joy promoted by the Port Wine Cofradia in all years in which a large number of vintage ports are declared, manifested in the form of a tasting for all confrades to show their wines. Proclamation, the decision by the Chancellery to create a lot of vintage port for the Cofradia in certain years. And finally, maybe most importantly, classification. The opinion of journalists and buyers who define their opinions through comparative tastings and classify the wines independently. It's these persons who decide if it was the right decision and which vintage is classic. So continuing with the ceremony. Peço ao nosso copeiro mor que inicie a cerimônia solene com a colaboração de todos os confrades presentes.
Vamos dar início à feitoria do lote Vintage Cofradia 2016. É bom lembrar o que é que foi o ano de 2016 que levou a que hoje